these guys have probably played so many sets against each other. So let's get winners finals of Fusion 191 away. We're going to PS2, of course.
Yeah, you're trying to keep things as consistent as possible on both sides. Like, Mateo has got to play out this matchup as strictly as possible in order to take advantage of it as Palutena. But Marcus, meanwhile, he's trying to survive for as long as possible. He's trying to take advantage of his juggle game and take advantage of his win rate against the Mateo as well. I believe these two played at the at a Fusion not that long ago where it was Marcus taking it in a pretty clean 2-0. Let's see if that happens again.
Right, Marcus is really dishing out a lot of damage and really instating his lead initially. So again, with Marcus playing defensively now, not needing to approach, it's going to be so difficult for Mateo to find this damage. At least for Mateo, you know, Game & Watch is a light character, so he's going to die very early. That is if you can catch him.
Yes, it was not even just Fusion that long ago. It was Fusion last week that Marcus had beaten Mateo 2-0. But on the flip side, Mateo won the last 2 sets. So some real back and forth going on here. But in this set, it's Marcus taking the first stock.
Once you get that lead, oh my days. The fact that you didn't need to go for that in the second stock, but you did it anyway. I love you, Marcus.
That's what Marcus does. Whether for better or for worse, he's going for that judge majority of these instances. That was actually a pretty clean extension.
That was nice. Using that platform.
Yeah. To instant detonate the bomb. Yeah, it was kind of nice.
We literally just saw like down throw side B, so seeing that was pretty nice. Getting the explosive light, getting rid of that charged bucket. So yeah, Mateo finally getting his stock, gets on the scoreboard, but right now he's gotta deal as much damage. And the up B, such a good get off me tool.
Oh my god, it's the best reversal in the game.
It really is.
And need I say more? Dude wasn't even on his shield, and he's pressing it on reaction to your drift. Like, that's what makes Game & Watch up B so scary, is that you're not waiting for something to contact your shield. You're waiting for just like a little bit of drift.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, didn't have the jump, it seemed like, as he went for the explosive flame. And that will seal out game number 1 on the part of this Game & Watch. But long set ahead. We'll get to see if Marcus is able to hold steady through it, or if Mateo is able to make some adjustments like he did in the previous set after a loss.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it was just Marcus really setting the tone for that match, and Mateo, even though at some point it did seem like he was adjusting to it. It's just the amount of confirms that you have as Game & Watch that is just so consistent, and of course, you know, Palutena with the Nair. Both players are just going to be going for their Nair for the majority of this match, but ooh, down, they're not going to.
But it's really going to be who Nair's second in a lot of instances. Game & Watch Nair has a little bit more leeway with its disjoint, but a lot of times you're able to, both players will be able to whiff punish one Nair with the other. Meaning you kind of create a game of chicken as part of this neutral, depending on the spacing or positioning of each other, as we constantly see Mateo give up space, then try to jump over Marcus. It's a dangerous game. Let's see if he's able to keep up with it after this edge guarding sequence where he goes for the 2-frame but barely whiffs.
Yeah, barely is just not enough in these scenarios. It really isn't. You have to make sure that these hit. And speaking of hitting, finally getting a little bit of bacon into the F-tilt, reading that air dodge and punishing accordingly. Like I said, this is one of the best edge guarding tools in the world, but that back throw is going to take that stock. On a stage like Small Battlefield with Rage against Game & Watch? Yeah.
I am surprised the grab even connected. He was very far away, but Marcus, they got scooped up. This lead will certainly fall by the wayside. Max Rage on this Palutena. Choosing to go for the jab there is huge in terms of that it hit, but it did not close out the stock. And Mateo getting a little bit of chance to cash out a little bit. 30% here. The up air connecting as well and being ever so present to avoid the major hitbox of that down air. He's trying to extend this lead as far as possible and doing a damn good job of it. 61% already on Marcus.
You can see the desperation in Marcus to find the stock. I think he's going to get it finally. I believe that was with down throw as well. So finally getting that stock. Catching out the roll with the explosive way, and again, this is what you were talking about earlier. How Mateo was gonna run away with this lead, and it's you know, paying dividends right now.
Giving up space a little bit to find these backers, shifting gears just that little bit. Mateo will have these modes where he plays super mix heavy, trying to go for a lot of nairs on a lot of starters, and then sometimes he'll just have back air mode where he just wants to press the really good button and force you to deal with it. It's a nice change of pace though, especially given how Marcus had been so adept at stuffing out much of Mateo's normal offense that sometimes you just need to make Game & Watch feel stubby.
And you can see it right there. You know, even though Game & Watch has a lot of big hitboxes, Mateo has been able to hit these up airs, just bait out that down air, and then, you know, punish accordingly with the back air, forward air. So right now, Mateo is punishing like there's no tomorrow against Marcus.
He had another back air there, but just let it rip a little bit too late. That's a down throw, though, trying to potentially set up on the platform. Reading a jump, Marcus did air dodge down. There's plenty of fight left in Marcus here, but this game number 2 is so very readily slipping away from him.
What a read.
Throw.
Yeah.
He was there like a second in advance too. It's like, you are rolling here. Like, this is not a feint. I'm grabbing you.
You are going to roll, even if you think you won't. You will, and just catches that out again. That you know, the dying embers of that match really just came down to Mateo conditioning Marcus into positions like that, or, you know, going for a down air, kind of faking him out. Making Marcus think that, you know, he's safe in this position, when in reality Mateo is just 2 steps, even 3 steps ahead.
Running it right back to small battlefield though. No worry shown on the part of Marcus. Playing a little bit slower at the start here to see if Mateo's able to give up ground, but Mateo's discipline in center stage on this small battlefield has been so nice. Then the mix up with the grab, that conditioning coming into play, and the different gears that he's been shifting to has been one step ahead of what Marcus has adapted to.
Ooh, good grab into the back air. The consistency in Mateo's conversions and just getting these reads once again, getting that down smash off, getting these F smashes just to push Marcus away has been allowing Mateo to maintain advantage and again find all this damage. Ooh, trying to go for an edge
Recognize the air dodge, but Game & Watch can just get so... These pivot grabs, Jellyfish, they're so good.
Oh, misses a confirm. Yeah, no, he's been hitting those so well. Missing the read or maybe a confirm. Just needs to find one straight hit. A back air will definitely do a lot of damage, and even kill. Speaking of back air,
dangerous spot there, but a high back air is something that Marcus can up B out of shield, getting some good damage. Down throw. Will he read the air dodge down? He did read the air dodge that time. Wasn't directly down, but it was still plenty punishable for Mateo. Solid stuff from the Palutena main to get that first stock and regain some lead here in game number 3.
And that's where you see the adaptability of these players. It's, you saw, you know, in that game number 2 where Marcus, instead of jumping, the air dodges. Now Mateo sees it and is like, okay, I'm ready for this now, and finds that option, gets this kill, and now gets a little bit, not a little bit, it's a lot of damage with that nair into those up airs. That just makes Palutena so good.
This Mateo Palutena is starting to saw some boats in half, like put on all of that damage. And fainting out the up B out of shield from Marcus. It's not going punished, but Mateo is clearly dictating and forcing Marcus to react to the situations rather than dictate them. And that's super huge to do against such a strong set play character.
You can see that Marcus is just trying to approach, trying to catch Mateo, you know, potentially rolling or going for a spot dodge, but simply just shielding. And the thing is Marcus is trying to bait out these options where he won't go for a grab on shield, or, you know, kind of forces him to not go for an option that you'd think he'd go for it. Good pivot grab once again. I feel like that's been 3 in a row that he's hit it.
It's so many pivot grabs that have been coming out from Mateo, just scooping up Marcus, getting a little bit over aggressive, leaning a little bit too far into these back airs. Can't say it enough. Mateo played that stock so beautifully, forcing Marcus to find a stray hit with a spontaneous aerial at 170 is how you want every single Game & Watch stock to be forced to be taken. And then the up smash as well, covering the air dodge to ledge. Beautiful counterplay on the part of Mateo, and he's getting some yet more damage.
He is hitting every Palutena combo like he wants to. He tried to go for the 9. At this point, you gotta go for it. Yeah, exactly. You just have to.
Yeah,
good forward
best to do it then when the percentages were still low. Maybe take a stock for free. But the damage is certainly racking up here on the part of Marcus. The longest sense of advantage he has had in 2 games. But getting to the ground there was Mateo. So nicely played. Yet nothing big coming in the close for both sides here. Let's see if Mateo is able to finish up this stock and get down to the ground, or if Marcus is able to even things back up.
He's doing a very good job right now, Marcus, but I feel like the damage that has already been dealt, it's so difficult to come back because, dang, you're just gonna die there. That rage, that adds up. That rage will definitely add up. And the percentage that Mateo dealt to Marcus clearly added up in that game number 3 because of that lead that he had and just being able to, again, dictate the tempo and the pace of this game and this set. Really allows Mateo to just run away.
Are we going to get this last stock here before they start the game? Check the spacing on that back air. Oh, my lord. Beautiful.
Perfect. Chef's kiss.
View. You can't do it any better than outrange Game & Watch, force the reversal, then punish with a character that has a lot of speed. Like, Palutena, for a while, was the demon character for many of the more awkward characters in Smash Ultimate. While that hasn't always been true in the late game meta, because Game & Watch has gotten a ton of development, Mateo is still showing that Palutena has plenty of utility and usage in a metagame that's dominated by a bunch of high-risk or low-risk, high-reward characters.
Yeah, it makes the meta feel so simple, but I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And damage. Speaking of that, damage and stocks. Right
stocks,
there.
Yeah. Not just damage, you're very right, but hey, sometimes you throw out those reversals off ledge and shake up Mateo's confidence in his positioning, especially in a place of advantage that a ledge trap is supposed to be. You just get up, instantly throw out a down smash. You make Mateo back off a little bit later in this game.
Yeah, those upbeats again, just allowing for Marcus to bail out and really actually just keep Mateo in disadvantage. And this entire time, you can see the change in pace. The momentum has clearly shifted towards Marcus. But if we've seen anything from Mateo, he can make these comebacks happen. It's no stranger. He's no stranger. Aw, this is the up smash. He had the right idea.
Just didn't let it rip in time before the nair out of ledge came from Marcus. But this damage is all right if you are Mateo, because you know that damage from Game & Watch comes so fluidly. You are really behind the 8 ball though, so it's getting really tough. Gotta abuse this rage as much as you can. Maybe find an up air here, but Marcus is playing things slow and playing things safe. Just taking the long way back to ledge, not even risking any of Mateo's big finishers.
You see that Mateo is just hoping and praying that Marcus is going to jump off of ledge, getting that back air off, but couldn't get it, gets it by the nair, and is at a 2-stock deficit.
Ooh, okay, some whiff grabs on both players' parts, but it's the up B out of shield yet again coming down from Marcus.
It just works every single time. That move is so safe. Good dash attacks, just catching Marcus, dropping shield a little bit. Okay.
Quite the pickle we have found ourselves in as Mateo, but this is how you draw it up as Marcus, though. You find an early lead as Game & Watch and just steadily play the ledge game where you don't have to deal with Palutena's amazing speed. Rather, you're going hitbox for hitbox with potential reversals online or ledge traps of your own with that chef. The damage is really starting to take its toll up against Mateo here. And we're looking at endgame. Yeah, there it is.
Endgame indeed. Marcus with the stuff that will definitely kill the switch of game number 4. And what a 3-stock, really. I mean, you talked about it before, how when you get this lead and now you're able to play it slow and really just be able to, what's it called, prioritize all of Mateo's aerials with aerials of your own. And of course, that up B is just one of the greatest options that you have in this game. Makes me want to play Game & Watch a lot, simply because of how much you can get off of that. You can get combos, you can get kills off of it, it's a good recovery tool. What more could you ask for from Game & Watch?
It does it all. And Game & Watch's entire game plan cycles around 1 to 3 moves. For some characters and some players, it's exactly up B. For some characters, you look at like up B, nair, and up air being like those big 3 moves that you have to deal with, and everything else siphons off from the innate power of that fire escape that is up B at a shield.
See, every time that Mateo is trying to approach air in the air, and you don't even need to parry. That's what just makes it. I feel like we're just like we're making advertisement for this move. It's like we're trying to sell it.
It is that important of a button in the kit of Game & Watch and in the meta game of Smash Ultimate. Like, I cannot understate how important the idea is to have proper counterplay or a proper counter pick for Game & Watch exclusively because of up B out of shield. Mateo, though, he's got the counter pick. He just needs to reapply some counter play. As we see the attempts to take a stock at 73 and utilize that max rage, but Marcus comes down with the easy whiff punish to regain control of this game and this set, as we are in a game 5 winner-take-all type of scenario.
It is so difficult for Mateo. Even if he's spacing in, you know, all of his moves correctly, Marcus is just waiting with the nair, waiting for a forward air, just getting, again, conditioning Mateo to go for these air dodges, to recover back on the ledge high, and then getting a punish accordingly. Finally, Mateo's finding some, you know, some win, some life in this set, but it might be a little bit too late.
That was such good DI up there from Marcus, avoiding the platform entirely. So nice to just get away from the X factor that is Palutena up air, but the backer on the neutral getup is certainly there for Mateo, keeping him well in this game. That was close.
That was very close, but again, up B. I will mention it every single time about how good of a move that is, and how much I will appreciate that, despite how many times I will hate going against it.
It's one of those moves, one of those
things. It really
things.
is.
It's the Ken standing fierce. It's the Jury level 2. It's the Guile level 2. It's the Blanco level 2. Yo, why in Street Fighter 6 level 2 is kind of crazy. Either way, though, and it keeps on working. Oh, that back air clipped as Mateo tried to get his own back air out.
Ooh, all right. Good 50-50 right there. Gets Mateo to air dodge, able to punish with that forward tilt. Very good stuff. Oh, I thought he was going for a side kick.
It's crazy. Marcus is shield grabbing in this game, and unless it is exactly something like Palutena back air, he is just playing the mix-up of like a landing aerial shield and landing aerial spot dodge so well. Somehow that shield grab missed, but when you're able to play a game where shield grabbing is an option again and not just against in very particular circumstances, like that creates some insane risk reward that Mateo has to measure. Because look at the reward that Marcus keeps on getting, 104% and a stock up.
Good down tilt. It's looking like lights out very soon, and there it is. Very good way for Marcus to make that comeback. We saw that he was down 2-1 against Mateo, but I mean, really, that does tell you how much that Marcus is well versed in going to game 5, these late, very, very long sets against a player like Mateo, which is crazy. The way that he was just able to slow down Mateo and just be able to play his game. That's what makes Game & Watch so good.
That it does, Monsieur Jellyfish, as we see a long game 5 set go in the favor of Marcus. Very, very well played, just constantly dominating. Rather, not constantly, because Mateo looks very strong in games 2 and 3, but
Yeah.
once Marcus was able to distill so much of Mateo's offense into, I will either grab as he holds up block or up B and get out of a dangerous scenario, like it's transformed the game because it became a yes or no question. And what are fighting games sometimes besides a call and response, like ask questions and getting answers? Marcus found his answers for sure in that 5 set.
Yeah, and we saw that earlier against Sea Carrot, right? Just so many times where he's putting Sea Carrot in these positions where it's like, okay, are you going to go for this move or are you going to go for this option? And then if you do, then it's like, I have 3 other things that I can do that are super safe, that will definitely, kill you or be able to get a confirm off. And again, that simple game plan from Game & Watch is what makes him so good in this meta. It's just being able to press 3 buttons, really, and be like, yeah, that's how I'm going to win. And it works every single time.
He's kind of filling the role that Palutena did in the early meta.
Yeah.
Like, I have these insane tools, and you have to deal with them. And if you're not able to deal with them, you lose.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
That's kind of the way that it plays out sometimes in certain matchups. Palutena against Game Watch certainly has a ton of advantages to the point where you could argue it's winning for Palutena. Personally, I don't think that anymore. Yeah. But at one point it was, and at one point she had a ton of utility that Mateo showed off. Just so happens that Marcus was able to play around it so to the point of finding the win. But before we go into loser semifinals and round out this bracket, we're going to finish with some ads, and that includes the 5-week away Super Major right here in New Jersey, Collision 2024. Going to have some heroes and villains on the ultimate and melee side, from Gluttony and Leo to Axe and Kadoran to Buzz and Magi, Riddles and Cody. It's going to be a slobber knocker of a major with all of this high-level talent and plenty of other games to show for it and side events to show for it as well, with doubles, squad strike, giant melee. Gonna be a great time, and you're not gonna want to miss any of the action, either by coming down to Parsippany, New Jersey and registering at start.gg/collision, or finding the action right here at Collision Series T.